Hello my legend modders and welcome to another building video, and this time it will be about the famous ship, and that is Titanic from Academy 1 to 700 scale. As usual, I start cutting plastic parts from the sprue and cleaning the excess plastic with nail files and of course with a sharp knife. After cleaning, I start making the position with the tweezers of the pole on the stern section of the Titanic, and of course putting the holders for huge cables here on the deck. Of course, we don't forget on the cranes for the Titanic, positioning the arms on the crane itself, and of course adding the few windows or I think walls for the build, and putting the crane on its place. After the cranes, I add some railings to the pole where was Frederick Fleet and Robinson Lee on the night of a sink of a Titanic. Cleaning excess plastic with a sharp knife like always. On the separating of rudder, I must be very careful because it's a really thin part and I must make a cut through with a sharp knife. And here I start making the first house or build on the Titanic, as you can see right now. And now adding on the stern section the pole for the flag, and of course adding some other details like bench to the other passengers for the Titanic. Adding the front wall of the windows to the front panel, and of course adding sides, completing the whole part of the side walls and gluing it with a thin glue. Of course, don't forget to scrape the mold lines with a sharp knife or with a extra thin glue, and adding this for the rudder station, as you can see. I decided to make some adjustments, like put a rope on the cranes and gluing it with a super glue. After adding the details to the bow and the stern section of the Titanic, I started making the upper deck and adding the walls with windows to the top section, and now I glue on the top deck the watcher tower for other crew members on the Titanic. Again, clean excess plastic with a sharp knife, and now I glue this part of a hanger, I think, and of course adding the top section of the deck right here, as you can see. Now I add a few lifeboats on the top section of the deck, as you can see, and after that adding another details like few benches here. Finally adding the lines of lifeboats to the top section of the deck, adding this tube, and of course don't forget on the periscopes as well. Gluing the funnels together and adding of course details to the inside of the funnels as well, and don't forget on all of 4 funnels, adding this mesh texture on the top, and of course again a few little benches here on the deck, and of course don't forget on the stair section the rails. Same on the bow section, adding the rails for the passengers. Of course, Titanic must have a propellers for the proper moving, so we adding of course the propellers here as well. And right now I start gluing the funnels, and this time in a good way. Gluing the side propellers as well. And of course don't forget on the heart of steel anchor on the bow section, and of course gluing the top section of a deck. secure it with a thin glue to the better hold, and here you can see how the Titanic looks at this point of build. It looks excellent, I must say. And now it's time to have fun with the LEDs, like with the LED lights, as you can see. I'll start by trying to tape the LED lights and of course drill holes to the bottom of the ship and gluing some other anchors to the ship itself. Now I just glue the battery holder with a double-sided tape, as you can see. Gluing separate parts of the ship with an extra thin glue from Mr. Cement S. Gluing the cables to the stand with super glue and adding the few details what is left on the ship. Adding the top deck on the ship itself and be ready for the glue the whole thing finally. And as you can see, I'm using the roll contactor and try to glue the bow section. As you can see, of course, thin glue is a necessity, and the bow section right here. Lovely. Because it's missing the detail with a yellow stripe, I must make a mask and just paint the stripe with a yellow color. I was trying with an airbrush, but it wasn't good like my mixing, so I must paint it with a brush, so I hope it's kinda okay. But after that, when I rip off the masking tape, and it makes a bit of a mess, so I must paint the few details again with a black color to kinda save it. As you can see right now, it's not good, but I was tried hard and I think it's great. So, and of course I must make the same on the white part, so that's the point. And I add of course some other details, like as you can see I make a wash from just a black color to make the funnels a little bit abraded because they are running on a coil. And of course I add some other details like paint the bolts with ochre color. Painting of course the few tiny bolts with a few shades of a gray colors what I have from Vallejo. And I think these little details make a more life to the model itself, because I know it's pre-colored, but a lot of details is missing, so it's great. And of course painting the anchor as well with a nice shiny metallic color from Revell. And after that I spray the whole model with a matte varnish in a spray can. Cutting the decals from a decal sheet, or mostly the name of the ship and flags. Painting the chain again with a nice shiny metallic color to bring more details to it. And I think it looks excellent. Putting the name on the side of the bow section, and of course I use decal set from Amomic. Same on the stern section using decal set and decal softer. Positioning the flag on the bow section because that was the final destination of the Titanic. But as we all know, that wasn't the final destination. It is the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Adding the last detail, and that is this cable to the stern and the bow section, or of course I must paint it in black with a brush. And after all my work, finally here you can see the presentation of the finished model. I hope you like it and see you next time.